Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that every woman deserves to know: how to be a high-value woman. Being high value isn't about money, looks, or social status. It's about how you carry yourself, how you respect yourself, and the energy you bring into the world. Self-worth is the foundation of a high-value woman. It is the deep, unshakable belief that you are valuable, not because of what you do for others or how you look, but because of who you are. A woman who knows her worth does not seek validation from external sources. She does not wait for a relationship, a job title, or social media likes to define her value. Instead, she understands that her worth is intrinsic, and she carries herself with confidence, grace, and purpose. Many women struggle with self-worth because society often sends messages that their value is tied to external factors. From a young age, women are told that their beauty, their ability to please others, or their relationship status determines their importance. However, a high-value woman refuses to buy into these limiting beliefs. She knows that her worth is not determined by a number on the scale, the amount of attention she receives, or the opinions of others. She builds her self-worth from within, and this inner strength shines through in everything she does. One of the most important steps in developing self-worth is self-acceptance. A high-value woman embraces herself fully, flaws and all. She understands that perfection is an illusion, and that true confidence comes from owning who she is. This does not mean she stops growing or improving, it means she loves herself at every stage of her journey. When a woman truly accepts herself, she stops seeking validation from external sources because she no longer needs it. She becomes her own biggest supporter, recognizing that she is already enough. Another key aspect of self-worth is self-care. A woman who values herself takes care of her physical, emotional, and mental well-being. She prioritizes her health, not for vanity, but because she respects her body. She sets aside time for rest and relaxation, knowing that burnout does not serve her. She engages in activities that bring her joy, whether it's reading, exercising, meditating, or traveling. A high-value woman does not wait for someone else to give her happiness, she creates it for herself. Self-worth is also reflected in the way a woman sets and maintains her standards. A high-value woman does not settle for less than she deserves in relationships, friendships, or her career. She knows her value, so she does not tolerate mistreatment, disrespect, or mediocrity. She does not beg for attention or chase people who do not see her worth. Instead, she surrounds herself with people who uplift and respect her. When she walks into a room, she carries herself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows she belongs, no matter who is watching. It is important to note that self-worth does not mean arrogance. A high-value woman is not boastful or entitled. She simply understands that she is worthy of love, respect, and success. She does not compare herself to others because she knows that her journey is unique. She celebrates other women's successes instead of feeling threatened by them. A woman who truly values herself lifts others up rather than tearing them down because she operates from a mindset of abundance, not insecurity. One of the biggest challenges to self-worth is overcoming self-doubt and negative self-talk. Many women struggle with inner criticism, telling themselves they are not smart enough, pretty enough, or successful enough. A high-value woman recognizes these thoughts for what they are: limiting beliefs that do not define her. She actively works to replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," she tells herself, "I am capable, strong, and deserving of the best." She understands that the way she speaks to herself matters and chooses to be her own best friend rather than her harshest critic. A high-value woman also understands that failure does not define her. She does not let setbacks shake her sense of self-worth. She knows that mistakes and challenges are part of growth, and she learns from them instead of allowing them to diminish her confidence. She does not give up on herself, even when things do not go as planned. She is resilient, knowing that her value does not depend on temporary circumstances. Self-worth is not about being perfect or having everything figured out. It is about knowing, deep down, that you are already enough. A high-value woman does not wait for someone to recognize her worth. She knows it, and she carries herself accordingly. She does not chase people or beg for love, because she understands that the right people will recognize and appreciate her for who she truly is. Ultimately, self-worth is a choice. It is something that a woman builds and reinforces every day through her thoughts, actions, and the way she treats herself. The more she values herself, the more others will naturally respect and value her as well. A high-value woman does not demand respect, she earns it by the way she carries herself and the way she shows up in the world. And that, more than anything, is what makes her truly powerful. Emotional intelligence is one of the most powerful qualities a high-value woman can possess. It is the ability to understand, manage, and regulate emotions in a way that enhances both personal and professional relationships. A high-value woman does not allow her emotions to control her actions. Instead, she responds with grace, wisdom, and self-awareness. She understands that how she reacts to situations determines the outcome, and she prioritizes emotional control over impulsive behavior. One of the key aspects of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. A high-value woman takes the time to understand her emotions rather than suppressing or ignoring them. She recognizes when she feels anger, sadness, frustration, or joy, and she does not let these emotions dictate her actions. Instead of reacting impulsively, she pauses, assesses the situation, and chooses a response that aligns with her values. Self-awareness allows her to remain composed even in challenging situations, making her a woman of strength and dignity. Another essential aspect of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. A high-value woman does not allow external events or other people's behavior to dictate her mood. She remains in control of her emotions even when faced with adversity. If someone is rude to her, she does not lash out in anger. She calmly assesses the situation and responds in a way that maintains her self-respect. She understands that reacting emotionally to negativity only gives away her power. Instead, she chooses to rise above petty conflicts and respond with composure. Empathy is also a crucial part of emotional intelligence. A high-value woman has the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. She listens attentively, showing genuine concern and interest in the emotions of those around her. She does not dismiss people's feelings or invalidate their experiences. Instead, she offers support and encouragement while maintaining healthy boundaries. Her ability to empathize allows her to form deep, meaningful connections, making her a trusted and respected presence in any social or professional setting. In addition to empathy, a high-value woman possesses strong communication skills. She expresses her thoughts and feelings clearly, calmly, and assertively. She does not resort to passive-aggressive behavior, silent treatment, or emotional outbursts to get her point across. Instead, she communicates with honesty and confidence, ensuring that her needs and boundaries are understood. She knows that effective communication is the key to resolving conflicts, strengthening relationships, and maintaining inner peace. One of the biggest challenges to emotional intelligence is learning how to handle criticism. A high-value woman does not crumble under criticism, nor does she react defensively. She understands that feedback, whether positive or negative, is an opportunity for growth. Instead of taking criticism personally, she evaluates whether it is constructive or simply an opinion that does not serve her. She has the emotional maturity to accept feedback, make improvements if necessary, and disregard opinions that do not align with her truth. Patience is another defining trait of emotional intelligence. A high-value woman does not act out of impulse or frustration. She understands that emotional reactions often lead to regret, so she practices patience in her responses. Whether it is in relationships, work, or personal goals, she remains composed and trusts that everything will unfold in the right time. She does not let temporary emotions push her into making permanent decisions. Another powerful aspect of emotional intelligence is the ability to walk away from negativity. A high-value woman does not engage in unnecessary drama, arguments, or toxic relationships. She knows when a situation no longer serves her and gracefully removes herself from it. She does not waste time trying to change people who do not respect her. Instead, she chooses peace over conflict, knowing that her energy is too valuable to be spent on negativity. A high-value woman also understands the importance of emotional boundaries. She does not absorb the emotions of others or take on their problems as her own. She offers support and kindness but does not allow herself to be drained by negativity. She knows that protecting her emotional well-being is essential for maintaining her strength and happiness. She does not allow guilt or pressure to make her feel responsible for other people's emotions, and she prioritizes her own mental health. The ability to forgive is another sign of high emotional intelligence. A high-value woman does not hold grudges or dwell on past mistakes. She understands that forgiveness is not about excusing bad behavior but about freeing herself from resentment. She does not allow bitterness to take root in her heart because she knows that holding on to negativity only hurts her. Instead, she forgives, lets go, and moves forward with grace. Emotional intelligence also means maintaining a positive mindset. A high-value woman does not allow negative emotions to consume her. She focuses on solutions rather than problems, gratitude rather than complaints, and personal growth rather than comparison. She understands that her mindset shapes her reality, and she chooses to cultivate thoughts that empower her. Even in difficult situations, she finds lessons and opportunities for growth. Ultimately, emotional intelligence is about staying in control of how one reacts to life. A high-value woman does not allow emotions to control her, she controls them. She approaches every situation with self-awareness, emotional balance, and wisdom. By mastering her emotions, she commands respect, cultivates meaningful relationships, and creates a life filled with peace and confidence. Boundaries are an essential aspect of self-respect and personal growth. A high-value woman understands that setting and enforcing boundaries is not about being rude or selfish, it is about valuing herself enough to protect her energy, time, and emotional well-being. She knows that saying no to things that do not serve her allows her to say yes to what truly matters. She does not feel guilty for prioritizing her needs because she understands that self-care is not selfish, it is necessary for living a fulfilling life. One of the most important aspects of boundaries is recognizing personal limits. A high-value woman is deeply in tune with herself and knows when something is draining her energy, overwhelming her, or taking advantage of her kindness. She listens to her intuition and does not ignore feelings of discomfort or resentment. When she realizes that something is crossing her personal limits, she takes action instead of allowing the situation to continue. She does not tolerate mistreatment, and she does not make excuses for people who repeatedly disrespect her boundaries. Setting boundaries is especially important in relationships. A high-value woman understands that love and respect go hand in hand. She does not allow others to manipulate her, use her, or take her for granted. She is clear about what she will and will not accept in a relationship, whether it is romantic, platonic, or professional. She does not overextend herself to please others at the cost of her own happiness. She recognizes that healthy relationships require mutual respect, and she walks away from those who do not honor her boundaries. One of the biggest challenges in setting boundaries is learning how to say no without feeling guilty. Many women struggle with this because they have been conditioned to be people pleasers. Society often teaches women that they must always be accommodating, agreeable, and available to others. However, a high-value woman understands that constantly saying yes to others means saying no to herself. She does not agree to things out of fear of disappointing people. Instead, she makes decisions based on what is best for her well-being. A high-value woman also understands that boundaries are not just about saying no, they are about communicating her needs clearly and confidently. She does not expect others to read her mind or automatically know what makes her uncomfortable. She expresses her boundaries in a direct yet respectful manner, ensuring that there is no confusion about what she will and will not tolerate. She does not shy away from difficult conversations, and she stands firm in her decisions without allowing others to pressure her into changing them. Boundaries also extend to personal time and self-care. A high-value woman does not allow herself to be overburdened with responsibilities that are not hers to carry. She understands the importance of rest and does not feel guilty for taking time for herself. Whether it is setting aside quiet time to recharge, saying no to social events when she needs rest, or declining additional work when she is overwhelmed, she honors her limits without apology. She recognizes that she cannot pour from an empty cup, and that taking care of herself is essential for her overall well-being. In professional settings, boundaries are equally important. A high-value woman does not allow herself to be overworked, underappreciated, or taken advantage of. She advocates for fair treatment, whether it is requesting a well-deserved raise, setting clear work-life boundaries, or refusing to take on responsibilities that are beyond her role. She understands that being a hard worker does not mean sacrificing her peace of mind. She ensures that her professional life aligns with her values and does not compromise her well-being for the sake of pleasing others. One of the most powerful aspects of setting boundaries is understanding that it is not her responsibility to fix or save others. A high-value woman does not allow people to guilt-trip her into taking on their emotional burdens. She can offer support and kindness, but she does not allow herself to become an emotional dumping ground for others. She understands that everyone is responsible for their own happiness and growth. She does not let others take advantage of her kindness, and she knows when to step back from situations that drain her energy. Respecting her own boundaries also means surrounding herself with people who respect them as well. A high-value woman does not keep toxic people in her life. If someone consistently ignores her boundaries, manipulates her, or drains her energy, she removes them from her life without hesitation. She does not waste time trying to change people who do not respect her. She understands that she deserves relationships that uplift and support her, not ones that deplete her. At the core of boundaries is self-worth. A high-value woman knows that she is worthy of respect, peace, and happiness. She does not feel obligated to explain or justify her boundaries to those who do not respect them. She stands firm in her decisions and does not allow guilt or fear to dictate her actions. She understands that those who truly care about her will respect her limits, and those who do not respect them do not deserve a place in her life. Setting and maintaining boundaries is an ongoing process. It requires practice, self-awareness, and the confidence to stand firm in one's values. A high-value woman understands that boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about creating a life that aligns with her well-being. She does not view boundaries as restrictions, but as a way to protect her energy and ensure that she is surrounded by positivity and respect. Ultimately, boundaries are an act of self-love. A high-value woman does not feel guilty for putting herself first. She understands that by respecting herself enough to say no, she creates space for things that truly bring her joy, fulfillment, and peace. She knows that she is in control of her own life, and she does not allow external pressures to dictate her decisions. She values herself too much to settle for anything less than what she deserves, and she moves through life with confidence, self-respect, and unwavering strength.